Okay, what's up everyone? And this is episode 7 of the Talk With Maksim Show, and today is, I do believe, let me check, it's the 13th of July 2021. We're currently, we are, or I should say I am currently about, 12 days out from my fight, which actually, no, 11 days from today, from my fight. Just started doing my water cut, so 10 days out, that's when I start my water cut. Everything's going perfect. Okay, so lots of things happened this weekend, lots of things to talk about, and we're just gonna get straight into, and we're gonna kick off with the UFC 264 recap. Obviously, the main event, McGregor versus Poirier. We'll just get straight into. So I'm just gonna talk about a few fights that happened. So obviously, Max Griffin beat Carlos Condit. Dominant performance by Max Griffin. Very good in the first and second round. Kind of slowed down in the third round. Carlos Condit picked up the pace towards the end of the second round and at the start of the third round. And obviously Max Griffin took the win. He did very well at the very start. Good calf kicks, good low kicks. Carlos Condit couldn't really do much. He didn't really check any of the kicks or anything like that. So that's what got him the win. I do believe it was this very strong first round. Could have been a 10-8 round, maybe. I'm not sure what way the scoring works, but I know Carlos Condit won the last round for definitely, and I'd say Max Griffin won the first and second round. Okay, who else do we have? We had Sean O'Malley versus Chris Moutinho. So that was a pretty interesting fight. A lot of people wrote off Chris as that fight got, as soon as that fight got announced. Same as myself, I was like, okay, O'Malley's just gonna beat the shit out of him. Which basically pretty much happened, but Chris had an amazing chin on him, and he just took everything that O'Malley threw. I think O'Malley actually set the record for the most significant strikes in the bantamweight division over the 3 rounds. I think it was like something crazy, like 230 or some less strikes landed, significant ones, not just normal ones. I think he threw like 300 some of the strikes. I think he landed actually at an 85%, which is absolutely amazing. Just goes to show how good his accuracy is. Did a few call outs. He was obviously, if you watch the fight, a bit of show balling, which I did like. He was trying to dribble the ball and then try and dribble Chris's head off, but he couldn't. Made a few call outs. I don't believe he called out Cody Garbrandt. He called out Peter Yan and Rob Font, and I think that's all that he called out. Not sure who he's gonna fight. Actually, Rob Font be a good fight, but I think Rob Font is next in line for the title. Then I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Cody, but I wouldn't mind seeing O'Malley versus Cody. Like, that'd be a really good fight for O'Malley, I do believe. A really bad fight for Cody. Okay, so then we had Irina Aldana versus Yana Kuchinskaya. We had Irina Aldana. She finished Yana in the first round via ground and pound. I don't really see that fight fully. I just kind of skimmed through because I watched it the next day. So I just skimmed through that fight because I wasn't too interested in it. And Irina Aldana just took Yana down and just finished her then. Such a dominant performance. And that was in the bantamweight division, I think, for the women. Then Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy. That was actually a really interesting fight because Greg Hardy came out, pointed to the center of the octagon straight away and said, let's go, let's bang. So Tai Tuivasa goes, okay. Start kicking his legs, nice low kicks. Greg Hardy couldn't even check, very powerful. Obviously, Tai Tuivasa comes in heavy, so he must be about 200 and something pounds, maybe even close to 265, I'm not sure. Really good heavyweight. Greg Hardy pointed to the octagon. Tai Tuivasa goes, okay, kick the legs off him. Then what happened was Greg Hardy actually caught Tai Tuivasa for a really good shot. You can see that he wobbled Tai Tuivasa. And then he went in for the finish. And then Tai Tuivasa threw a left hook, I do believe, and just got Greg Hardy on the eye, dropped Greg Hardy, and obviously finished. And that was actually it was a minute into the first round, so very quick finish. Then Tai Tuivasa did the shoey that he always does. Got that, I think it was a Jordan load that someone gave him a bear can as well. Did a shoey. I do believe he actually did a couple more shoes as he was walking out. But phenomenal performance. Called out a top 10, top 15 opponent. I do believe he will get a top 10 probably opponent. And I see actually Tai Tuivasa fighting for a title very soon. I think the next year or two, I think he could be in contention for a title. Okay, then we had obviously the co-main event, Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Very good fight for Gilbert Burns, not obviously so great for Thompson. Gilbert Burns obviously won that fight, unanimous decision, went all 3 rounds. Basically, Gilbert's game plan was what we all thought. Well, I didn't really think that was going to happen. I thought I had the Wonderboy winning because I didn't think that Gilbert Burns was going to grapple him, which he actually did. He put Wonderboy up against the fence and just out-grappled him, took him down, which is a very smart fight for Gilbert. And now, I'm not sure who he fights next. That 170 division is stacked. Maybe he might, because I do believe he fought for before Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The fight before that was against Kamaru Usman, which he did lose, so I don't think he will fight for the title. But I actually wouldn't mind seeing Gilbert Burns versus the likes of Colby Covington or something like that, which would be a good fight, or against Leon Edwards. That'd be a very interesting fight. But I think Leon Edwards, if he is going to fight, he's either fighting for the title or he's sitting out and fighting for the title, or he's going to fight Colby or Masvidal or something like that. Him and Masvidal would be a very good fight. Okay, then we go on to the main event. We had Dustin Poirier versus McGregor. Obviously, we've seen the leg break. Dustin Poirier just looked phenomenal, and what can I say? Conor started off well in the first minute, maybe first 2 minutes. He was throwing flashy, he was landing some nice leg kicks. But the thing is, well, that if you think Dustin Poirier fought, what's his name, in that lad that he fought for the title last, who did he fight? I forgot anyways, but it was someone that he fought that was very good with leg kicks. So obviously he was prepared for leg kicks from that camp. And Justin Gaethje, that's what I'm thinking. He fought Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje throws a lot of leg kicks. So obviously during that camp, Dustin would have been getting ready for them leg kicks, and he obviously was able to take all of McGregor's leg kicks. He didn't really look phased. They exchanged a couple of times, and I do believe that Dustin got the better of Conor in one of the exchanges, and Conor wobbled Conor. Conor shot in. Dustin defended the takedown with a body lock, put him against the fence, took him down, and obviously held him down for a good solid, I'd say 2 to 3 minutes. Beat the shit out of Conor, good elbows. Conor did try and go for a guillotine, and he jumped in. It looked pretty tight, but look, he has a lot of experience in the grappling department as well, especially for same thing getting ready for Khabib, so he would have grappled a lot. And Dustin's best submissions is the guillotine, so I'm pretty sure he knows how to defend it properly. So obviously then Conor couldn't finish it. Dustin Poirier managed to get some nice elbows. I think towards the end of the first round, there's about a minute left or something like that, Conor did manage to get up actually. He got up, and what happened was he threw a teep kick, and which Dustin Poirier actually blocked with his elbow, landed on his elbow, cracked his foot. He went to step back. If you watch the foot after the teep, he steps back. His foot was always fractured at that point, kind of cracks, and then he throws the left hand. So does Dustin. They both miss, and he went to step back on the foot. The foot snaps, obviously broke. Not the result a lot of people wanted to see. Obviously, I want to see the fight go the distance, and I do believe I had Dustin winning, and he did win. But I think if it went the distance, well, Dustin would have won, because he looks phenomenal. He looks sharp. I think he has Conor's number right now. What's next for Conor? I haven't a clue. Maybe Diaz trilogy. Maybe against Dos Anjos. I know he had a bit of a scuffle with Dos Anjos after the weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins. So in the morning, he would try to attack Dos Anjos or something like that. So that'd be a good fight. But I do believe he will fight Diaz in the trilogy, make more money, probably beat Diaz, maybe not sure. I'd say he would, and then just retire. Okay, so obviously we talked about Conor's leg. Yeah, so it broke after the teep. And that was the next thing I wanted to talk about. So the leg snapped after the teep kick. A lot of people thought it was before that. I did someone the low kicks, but wish it wasn't. And then there was an interview done with John Kavanagh, Conor McGregor's coach, and John Kavanagh actually did say that it was the teep that Dustin Poirier broke. That Dustin Poirier blocked that broke his leg, obviously. Well, it was the bottom, kind of his ankle or something like that. That's the one that broke it. John Kavanagh did say and come out and said that McGregor's leg was actually fractured going into that fight, but they didn't think it was going to be a big. They didn't think it was going to affect Conor. But I don't know, is this an excuse that they're coming up with now straight away? I'm not sure. The only one thing I didn't like about it is Conor's antics after the fight. Obviously, kept talking shit about Dustin Poirier, about his wife and stuff like that, which I didn't like. You just lost. Take your loss like a man, which obviously you can't. Have you seen what he was talking about after the fight, giving the loads? But look, what can you do? Dustin just has his number now. Okay, so what else do we have? We had Italy versus England. So Italy beat England to become the European champions. So the match went to penalties. It was 1-1 after the full time, 1-1 after extra time. Went to penalties. Italy obviously won on penalties. Three of the English players did miss the penalties. One hit the post and two were saved. And the thing that was crazy, like obviously Italy did seem like a lot of experts did say that Italy was going to win, which it did. A lot of people did think that they were going to win on penalties actually, and which they did. But what was actually mad that the three lads from England, they got racially abused, and which is pretty sad to see that the English fans couldn't just take the loss on their chin. And look, there's more competition to come up. But now, if I was the players, I'm not playing for England anymore. What's the point of playing if you don't score a penalty? I know the fans are angry and stuff, but okay, you missed the penalty, that's it. But the fans absolutely abused the shit out of them, which is horrible to see, and it's very sad because I do believe that racism will never leave football. There will be always racism, especially when it comes to international competition, because obviously the players are going to get abused because they're from a different country, maybe their background, their colour, or whatever it is. But it was pretty sad to see. But fair play to Italy. I think that was their first major win of a cup since like in the last 30 years maybe, or something like that, which was actually pretty incredible. But fair play to Italy. They did super well and they deserved to win it. They did very well in the second half. I only watched like the end of the second half and obviously extra time and the penalties, but they did super well to win that. Okay, so what else do I want to talk about? Oh, Game of Thrones. So I started watching Game of Thrones. I know I'm a bit late to the party because the show has been out already for about probably 6 years or something like that, maybe a bit less, I haven't a clue, but been out for a long time, at least 5 anyways, and I just started it there, and I do see how people get addicted to it because this wasn't the first time I've started it. So I watched like the first, second and third episodes of the first season a couple of times, but it was such a slow start. I don't like that. I don't like long series. This was 8 seasons as well, so like 1 or 2 seasons is perfect for me, but something that's very long, I just get boring personally. But I smashed out. I think I'm on episode 6, and now it's actually kind of getting really good. And now I was sitting down, I was thinking to myself, geez, I see how people get very addictive to this show, because it is pretty addictive. Like you're watching it and things get interesting because it is a very slow start, but it kind of picks up it halfway through. I think I'm at episode 6. I'm not sure how many episodes there is, but I assume there's about 12 to 13, so I say I'm about halfway there. So now look, it's pretty interesting. I probably will finish the first season maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, because I'm only watching about an episode a day, and I think that was what was killing me before with long series. I used to just sit down and watch about 6 if I had time, obviously. If they're like Game of Thrones, one episode is about an hour, so I won't be able to watch 5 episodes in a day, which is 5 hours. That's a lot out of one day, so I just watching about an episode a day. But like, I do like series that only have 2 seasons and the episodes aren't long, so about 35 minutes to 40, that's enough for me. So I could actually binge watch something like that and smash it out, maybe a season in a couple of days, because obviously the episodes are very short. But something like Game of Thrones, where the episodes are, what are they, like an hour, as I said? I think every episode is an hour. Some are actually just a little bit longer, about an hour 10 minutes, an hour 15 minutes. But I can't sit there all day and watch about 5 episodes, which is 5 hours. I just get bored. But so far so good. That's why I'm watching only 1 episode a day, because I'm actually trying to watch it as if it just came out. Because I obviously know what happens in like most of it, because obviously I've heard people talk about it, and I know what the ending's like, but I'm still trying to enjoy it, because some people do say the more you watch, like say if you watch all 8 seasons, it's alright, but if you rewatch it again for the second and third time, it actually gets better, because you're able to pick up the little things you missed in the first episode, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I probably will end up watching it at some stage, all of it. But at the moment, I'm only watching about a season or so. I think I'm watching I'm gonna watch probably a season or two, maybe, and then maybe in the next month or two, I watch the rest. But as I said, I can't sit there and binge watch a season like in a week, like some people do, because it takes a lot of time out of my day with training and stuff like that. Because obviously five episodes with 5 hours, that's too much time. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, I thought this was actually pretty funny. So before the fight, Jake Paul basically he got a custom made pendant. I think that's what it's called, pendant or whatever it's called. Basically a chain. He had a chain, so a necklace with a yoke with Conor McGregor's. It's actually a yoke of a Conor McGregor as like a stick figure or something like that, being knocked out in his last fight against Dustin Poirier. We had these bottle of whiskey there, and actually Jake Paul spent 100,000 on the chain, which I thought was absolutely mad. Just goes to show how much money that fella has to spend. And he did tweet after the fight that who did he tweet? He just tweet after Dustin Poirier asked him, does he want the necklace to be sent over to him as a gift, which is not a bad gift, that's cost 100k. And I thought it was funny, he asked him, does he want the leg broke off the little stick figure. I thought it was funny. Imagine like there's a necklace that's worth 100k and you're just gonna just casually break a bit of it, because just why not? I thought it was pretty funny. And then obviously Dustin said, yeah, send it over to his way. And I think it's pretty interesting. I think, do we see Jake Paul and Conor McGregor in the future? I think this is starting something. This is a little build up to that fight. And imagine they fight and McGregor loses, and that'll be just the end of McGregor altogether when it comes to MMA, boxing, or anything like that. He's probably gonna go to soccer, you never know, or basketball next, I don't know. But I do believe that Jake might be able to fight Conor McGregor at some stage. I know right now Jake is focusing on fighting Tyron Woodley. I know he's trained with Mayweather. I'm not sure if it's in Mayweather's camp, but I do believe that Mayweather is training him a little bit. I did see different photos and footage of them being together. And I do believe if you go onto Tyron Woodley's YouTube channel, he has a video. I think he does a vlog. It's called Champ Life or Champ Camp or something like that. I think it's Champ Camp. And the first episode actually of Champ Camp, for him getting ready for Jake Paul, came out, and he was on the phone to Mayweather, and they were together in the gym. I seen that Mayweather showing him some little tips and tricks to beat Jake Paul. And I do not believe that the only reason Mayweather is so invested in Tyron Woodley at the moment, because he wants obviously Woodley to beat Jake Paul, of what happened when he took Mayweather's hat at the press conference for Mayweather versus Logan, and he's not too happy about that. And I'm not sure. We'll talk about this fight more in the future, because right now, when the fight just got announced, I was leading towards Tyron Woodley. Not Tyron Woodley, I was leading towards Jake Paul to beat Woodley, because Woodley's obviously old, and Jake Paul doesn't actually look too bad. When I seen him hit the pads, obviously some of his fights, he doesn't look too bad, and Tyron Woodley's getting a bit washed up. But now I seen some training footage of Woodley, and now I'm kind of 50-50, because I'm pretty sure I did hear somewhere that Jake Paul has the best of the best people in his camp when it comes to boxing trainers, nutrition, his diet, obviously nutrition and different stuff like breath work and all that. He has the best of the best in his camp, so it'd be very interesting to see what happens in that fight. But we'll talk about that closer to the fight. Okay, what else? So we're just gonna stick to the topic of boxing then for a second. Manny Pacquiao is fighting Errol Spence Jr. on August 21st. I completely forgot about that fight, okay? But I did watch it. I was on YouTube watching something, and I came across the press conference that was held, I think 2 days ago. So today's the 12th, so but on the 13th, whatever, it was a Thursday or a Friday that it was held between Manny Pacquiao and Spence Jr. And that's how I was like, oh shit, I forgot they were actually fighting. Now, who do I have winning that fight? I was same thing. I want to do a little video, like a little breakdown for who obviously like a UFC picks, but picks for this fight. Obviously, who I have a little breakdown. But just going, I do believe that Errol Spence Jr. beats Manny Pacquiao. Look, Manny Pacquiao looks very good in his last fight. He beat the undefeated world champion in his last fight, took the belt, and now what age is he? He's about 42 years of age or something like that, and still to be able to look that good. I think if he fought Floyd Mayweather right now, he beats the shit out of Floyd. Obviously, they're the same age, but Manny is just so much better than Floyd at the moment, obviously, as they aged. But that's going to be an interesting fight that is going to happen on the 21st of August, which is next month. I'll probably be watching that live because I'm not sure if I ever stayed up to see a live Manny Pacquiao fight. So this will be probably the first one, and I might actually do a live reaction. So we're going to go live on YouTube for that fight or something like that, or I'll just watch the fight, record it, and then put it out the next day. I might do a live reaction for that fight. We'll see. But I do have Errol Spence Jr. winning that fight. Obviously, he was in a big accident about 2 years ago. He was in an accident 2 years ago, which actually, he was nearly dead. I do believe he had to learn to re-walk again and stuff like that, so it was actually pretty mad. And then he had his comeback fight against Danny Garcia, I do believe, who was actually undefeated as well, and he did beat Danny Garcia in a very good close fight. And now it's going to be interesting to see how he does against Manny Pacquiao. I do believe he wins it. Maybe not handy enough. They're both southpaws. I think that this is the first time that actually Errol Spence Jr. is going to fight a southpaw, and Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought a southpaw himself in about 7 years, I do believe he said in the press conference. So it's going to be a super interesting fight to see. Okay, what happened as well? So, the ESPY, so the ESPY awards happened there. I do believe they're done by the ESPN. So I'm gonna just pull up a lot of awards were gifted, but I'm not gonna go through them all because it's just too many. I'm just gonna go through the important ones. Okay, so we had best athlete in men's sports, the nominees were Tom Brady, Conor McDavid, Nikola Jokic, and Lewis Hamilton. And Tom Brady actually ended up winning it. I do believe he does deserve to win it because of his last season in the NFL. Just went to the Buccaneers and managed to win the Super Bowl and stuff like that. So, which is pretty amazing. So then we had best athletes in women's sports. We had Naomi Osaka. She won that. I'm actually not sure. Do I know who Naomi Osaka is? Let me see, who is she? Let's have a look. Naomi Osaka. She's a tennis player. Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah, so she obviously won the women's sports woman of the year. Then we have breakthrough athlete of the year was LaMelo Ball. Do I think he deserves it? I would have gave it to Giannis out of the Bucks, but look, LaMelo got it. Whatever. That was just a breakthrough athlete in different sports. So Justin Herbert, who plays for the Los Angeles Chargers. They had a Chase Young, Washington, the football team, so the soccer team, obviously LaMelo Ball, Hornets, and then they had Crystal Dangerfield, he plays for Minnesota Lynx. So it's just different sports from NFL to football to basketball. Then we had best game. This was actually very interesting. So Gonzaga versus UCLA was the winner of the best game, and that was a basketball game actually. Gonzaga managed to win 93-90. I didn't see college basketball. I'm not mad into college basketball, but it seems like it was a tight game, and that's all I know. I'm not gonna say that I did watch it or anything like that because I wouldn't be able to talk too much about it. They had the best college athlete in men's sports, same thing. I wouldn't know any of these. Devonta Smith won it, and what does he do? So he plays for Alabama football team, so obviously another football player. Devonta Smith, that was for best college athlete. That was for men's. And then we have best college athlete women's sports. We had Paige Buchers, I think that's how I hope you pronounce his name. She's a Kentucky basketball player, so she won the best college athlete for the women. Okay, well, best team So we had Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the best team, obviously, and an NFL team, while water teams were nominated. We had the Stanford Cardinals, which is women's basketball. Then we had the Baylor Bears, NCAA men's basketball, Alabama tied, NCAA football, Oklahoma Sooners, NC softball, Seattle Storm, WBA, and then Los Angeles Dodgers, MLB, and Tampa Bay managed to win that. Okay, so what else? Breakthrough, best record-breaking performance. Russell Westbrook won that. Best international athlete in men's soccer. Obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo won. Then we had, what else do we have? Let's see something interesting. Best NFL player, Tom Brady, as I already said that. He actually got 2 awards. So he won the best men's athlete of the year. And now he won the best NFL player, which he obviously deserves. Okay, what else? Patrick Kane won the best NHL player. Best driver, Lewis Hamilton. I don't believe anyone even touches Lewis Hamilton at the moment when it comes to F1. Best NBA player, Steph Curry won that. Actually, he played phenomenal this season. Obviously didn't make it too far in the playoffs, but he did play phenomenal. Who else was nominated? So we had Luka Doncic being nominated, Nikola Jokic, Steph Curry, and Chris Paul. Chris Paul, yeah, he could have won it maybe if the players were over yet, because he is playing pretty well. But Steph Curry, well deserved, really good shooter. Then what else we have? Something interesting. Best boxer, Tyson Fury, one of my favorites. He won that. Canelo Alvarez was nominated. Teofimo Lopez, Clarissa Shields was nominated as well, and Tyson Fury managed to win it. Obviously, that's such a list. It probably was between Tyson Fury and Canelo Alvarez. They gave it to Tyson Fury because he's a heavyweight. I think he has 3 or 4. I think he had 3 fights this year. Canelo had something similar, but Tyson Fury is just a little bit bigger of a star, I do believe, than Canelo worldwide. But obviously, Canelo is such a huge star when it comes to just pure boxing. But when it comes to being like outside the sport, Tyson Fury is much bigger star than Canelo Alvarez, I do believe. So he managed to win that. Best MMA fighter, we had Khabib Nurmagomedov winning that. I did believe that he was going to win it. I don't think anyone else was going to beat him. Amanda Nunes was there, Rose Namajunas and Francis Ngannou. Don't think either of them were going to win it over him. So, and we'll do one more. We'll have a look at one more. Best athletes, men's action sports. We had Gabriel Medina, which is surfing. I haven't a clue about surfing, so I won't even say I don't even know who he is. And so they had a lot of more, like they had best bowler, best NWSL player. I don't even know what that is. What is NWSL? I haven't a clue what that is, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Yeah, so we had a lot of going on. There's another thing I want to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. Obviously we had the Wimbledon happened. I didn't see who won that, but I might pick up on that in the next episode. And then we had the All-Star game for the MLB. Oh, that's what I want to talk about actually. So the All-Star game happened the other day. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago that it happened. And actually what was interesting, I'm not sure how many of you heard of it, but what happened was the hotel, I do believe, that is across from the stadium that the game was meant to happen. Actually, there was a few strange customers staying there that the workers noticed. They were carrying different suitcases and stuff, and they just thought it was strange. They called the cops, and they got the rooms checked. They did find a lot of guns, ammunition in the room, and stuff like that. So obviously, they were going to try and shoot up the All-Star game. And what I did hear, you can actually shoot out of the hotel room into the stadium. So they were actually planning to do a big massive terrorist attack. I'm not sure what other updates there is to that, but we'll have to wait a few days and see what else comes out too. But which would have been pretty sad to see happen, obviously. But just goes to show fair play to the hotel workers that actually picked up on it and stuff like that. So yeah, I've not necessarily to talk about, to be honest with you, and we're just gonna leave at this. This was episode number 7, I do believe, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. We talked about obviously random stuff, mainly sports, which I do like to talk about mainly, and we had some other news obviously with the likes of Jake Paul, but it's still kind of sports related. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing to my channel, and yes, I'll see you in the next episode.